if you don't want people to bluff you, then just make sure that you become more at ease with yourself, that you don't tolerate bullshit, that you develop self-love through a meditation practice, develop self-validation through a meditation practice, develop validation through your friends and not through romantic partners, and don't tolerate bullshit from the start. From the start, call them out. If they're acting super interested and they want to go out with you, but they take 1 or 2 days, they're scheduling the dates, right? But they take 1 or 2 days in between response, call them out on it. Respectfully say, hey, Tyrone, hey, Melissa, look, I want to go out with you, but are you naturally a bad texter? Because if you are, this might not work out. You get what I'm saying? Like you have to do this because people hide behind the fact that they know that if you call them out, some people, they know if you call them out, they can act like the victim and say, hey, you're being too pushy, you're being too needy, you don't even know me to be calling me out on that. If they play that card, fuck them. No, not fuck them. But if they play that card, they're nasty. They're dirty players. They're dirty players. They're the type of person that if you call them out on something that they did wrong, that they'll play the victim. You don't want to deal with people like that. They're just nasty people, man. It's crazy, man. I'm going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we're going to read a part of the book of the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene, where he talks about this strategy and how people use this type of manipulation where they bluff at you as a way to gain power over you psychologically and emotionally. There's a chapter in the 33 Strategies of War that talks about that, and we're going to be listening to it so that we can expand upon what we're talking about. And their chapter is about defeating them. What is it about? I think it's called Take Small Bites. And the reason why is because small bites allows you to harm people without them retaliating. It's a strategy that leaves a lot of people defenseless, especially people who are afraid of confrontation. Watch this.
The empire you want to forge, and then to identify the sense of your objective, aggression. The key to making it work is to have a clear sense of your objective, the empire you want to forge.
So in this part, he's talking about use this strategy to take over an empire, right? But in this case, is people using the strategy to take you over psychologically, to test your strength and completely dominate you over time and create an exploitative relationship.
And then to identify the small outlying areas of the empire that you will first gobble up.
So that means
each bite must have a lot.
What is the first thing that you can do to test them that they won't fight back in? What is the first subtle form of disrespect that if you could do, that they will notice but not fight back? Listen.
In an overall strategy, but must be small enough that no one must have a lose of the empire that you will first gobble up. Each bite must have a logic in an overall strategy, but must be small enough that no one senses your larger intentions.
Enough for them to rationalize it away.
If your bites are too big, you will take on more than you are ready for and find yourself overwhelmed by problems.
Right? So if they disrespect you too obviously, your defenses go up. But if it's a subtle disrespect, your defenses don't go up. And so that will, then you could get, if they keep doing it, then it's enough for them to get used to it. It's almost like heating up a frog slowly, that they don't notice what's really going on.
If you bite too fast, other people will see what you are up to. Let the passage of time masterfully disguise your intentions.
So they disrespect you a little bit today, and time passes. Then you get acclimated. And then they disrespect you in this direction, in that direction. And over time, people will just begin to dominate you psychologically. And it's usually bite by bite.
Give you the appearance of someone of modest ambition. By the time your rivals wake up to what you have consumed, they risk being consumed themselves if they stand in your way. Keys to warfare. The strategy works as follows. Suppose there is something you want or need for your security and power. Take it without discussion or warning, and you give your enemies a choice, either to fight or to accept the loss and leave you alone.
This is so This is honestly so psychologically profound, because what he's saying is that you test a country's strength and a country's resolve by literally taking something from them. Not too big, but small enough, but not too big for them to risk war. And then they have a choice: either fight or become conservative and say, well, it's no big deal. And usually what happens is that they say it's no big deal. And so the time will pass, and then you take another bite. Enough for them to notice it, but not enough for them to want to go full out war for. This is just honestly, it's how people bluff. They want you to notice the pain. They want you to sense the aggression, but because of your conservative mindset, they don't go far enough for you to actually take action.
Is whatever you have taken and your unilateral action in taking it worth the bother, cost, and danger of waging war? Which costs more, the war, which might easily escalate into something large, or the loss? Take something of real value, and they will have to choose carefully. They have a big decision to make. Take something small and marginal, though, and it is almost impossible for your opponents to choose battle.
Yep.
There are likely to be many more reasons for leaving you alone.
Like, for example, you could say, why you don't have to get mad at her taking 2 days to respond. It's no big deal. But if you let it continue, this thought of it's no big deal will create a chain. It will create an exploitative dynamic. And it's one small step each time. Not enough for you to notice how far you've gotten, but enough for you to make progress. It's really sneaky shit, man.
Fighting over something small. You have played to your enemy's conservative instincts, which are generally stronger than their acquisitive ones. And soon your ownership of this property becomes a fait accompli, part of the status quo, which is always best left alone.
That is so profound. That is so true. It's almost like when somebody's in a relationship and they say, why don't you say something, man? They're being disrespectful. And they say, well, it's not worth getting into a fight. Then we're going to have an argument, and then I'd rather not. And without them even noticing, they don't notice how much power they're giving away. They don't notice how exploitive this relationship is. They don't notice how far they have gotten from who they really are. Because it's no big deal. They have succumbed to their conservative, instincts.
Sooner or later, as part of this strategy, you will take another small bite. This time, your rivals are warier. They are starting to see a pattern. But what you have taken is once again small. And once again, they must ask themselves if fighting you is worth the headache. They didn't do it before. Why now?
So now staying quiet becomes a pattern. Staying quiet becomes reinforced. Staying quiet is something that they are imprinting in your mind, all because you want to avoid conflict.
Execute a fait accompli strategy subtly and well, as de Gaulle did. And even though a time may come when your goal becomes clear, and when they regret their previous pacifism and consider war, by that time,
it's too late.
You will have altered the playing field.
By that time, once you finally choose to leave, once you finally choose to battle, your self-esteem is already lower. They have so much leverage over you. You have such an unwillingness to walk away, and you can sense this person's willingness to walk away, that you have no leverage. It's like removing a limb in order to escape.
So small, nor so easy to defeat. To take you on now entails a different kind of risk. There is a different, more powerful reason for avoiding conflict. Only nibble at what you want, and you never spark enough anger, fear, or mistrust to make people overcome their natural reluctance to fight.
So the way to overcome this is to have no tolerance for bullshit. This whole thing, what the lectures, I posted a status yesterday on Instagram about that, how some people ignore your messages but love your stories. And some people said, Alexis, that's petty. I'm like, no. That's how they get you. They do something enough for you to notice and be annoyed, but not enough to justify a full-blown confrontation. Fuck that. If they like you, you confronting them will call out their bluff. And if they get offended at the fact that that you're calling them out because they take 2 or 3 days to respond, if they're offended by that, they are a dirty player. They are dirty. They play the victim even though they know they're wrong. Even though they know they're trying to manipulate you. Avoid that person. Fuck them.
Let enough time pass between bites, and you will also play to the shortness of people's attention spans. Reversal. Should you see or suspect that you yourself are being attacked bite by bite, a quick and forceful response will usually be enough to discourage the nibblers, who often resort to this strategy
out of weakness
and cannot afford many battles.
So this is why I'm telling you. It feels like you're overreacting, but you're not. There's a reason why you feel discombobulated when they start acting confusing and in a way that doesn't make sense. Because you are registering manipulation. But rationally, the mind doesn't. They don't want. Not rationally, you don't want to look too needy, too aggressive, and so you tamp it down. And they rely on that. They rely on that part of your psychology.
If they are tougher and more ambitious, that forceful response becomes more crucial still. Letting them get away with their bites, however small, is too dangerous. Nip them in the bud.
Exactly. And that's why it's an example of posturing. You see that in war. And I'm not gonna talk about the Israeli and Iran. Is it? I don't know which one it is. Anyway, so if you notice, like this weekend, both countries just did attacks just to save face, right? And the reason why is because if you let one person get away with something, time will pass and they're gonna do it again. And because people repeat themselves, whenever they attack again, you most likely will have the same response. And you're not gonna be able to think long term. You're not gonna be able to think that if you let this happen long term, it's gonna happen more. But you don't think that way because you're reacting to the moment. And when you start reacting to the moment, when somebody's playing you, manipulating you, making you stressed, making you impatient, it's more difficult to think long term because you're in crisis mode. You got to focus on what's going on now. And they rely on you not being able to think long term, not being able to think 5-6 steps ahead. They rely on you not being able to anticipate and notice what's happening. Because once you notice what's happening, you're already attached. Cut that shit at the source. Don't let them manipulate you. Don't let them play you. If they say you're overreacting, then you say get over that bridge and get the hell out. Anyways, be safe, people. Bye-bye. All right, if you guys enjoy these videos about stoicism, dating, relationships, self-help, moving up in life, I would recommend you guys check out some of my courses that I have for sale. These courses are courses for men and women. For example, Nice Girl, Nice Guy is a course about how to become more assertive. Natural Chemistry is a course for women that I have on how to develop strong relationships. Dark Game is a controversial course that I have for guys on how to attract women in their life and keep it. It's not as dark as it seems, but we do talk about some dark psychology in here. Psychological Game of Attraction is a course that we made for women who are single. And as you see, we have a course about how to develop charisma, emotional mastery, which is a course about how to develop a meditation practice and how to improve your emotional life, to become more resilient, to not let rejection hit you so hard, to be able to bounce back from failure. I have a course called Nice Guy, which is a course for guys who are single and guys who want to be able to develop more assertiveness training, right? Most of these courses come at $99. And there you could also purchase the bundle where you guys can purchase all of the courses in one go at a discounted rate, right? We have a bundle for women and a bundle for men. So click in the description down below to check them out. You could browse around and see the courses that you like. And if you don't like them, you guys can ask for a 30-day money-back guarantee, and I'll give you guys the money back, okay? And in fact, we actually have a new one for women right now we're developing. It's called The Feminine Woman. So if you're a woman watching, this course is specifically to help women become more feminine, to embrace their feminine while embracing their masculine energy. And I'm actually going to make a course for that like that for men, which is called a masculine man, which is a course on how to develop masculinity and develop masculine energy to attract women in your life, to attract business success in your life, to be able to be better socializing, to read people better. It's truly an all-around course. So if you guys want to check out those courses, click on the description down below where it says purchase the courses, and I'll see you guys inside. Bye-bye.